Today I'm gonna knit for the entire day and I'm gonna be working on this gorgeous project right here. I'm gonna give you a close-up so you can see all the beautiful colors. I love them so much. And it is currently 9:30 a.m. So I'm gonna place a stitch marker to mark where I'm starting at 9:30 because I'm curious to see how much knitting I can get done after one full day of knitting with itty bitty 3mm needles. I just finished knitting my first round since placing the stitch marker and I'm going to show you. So this is the stitch marker and this is the first round that I knit since placing it. And oh my god, I love seeing how these colors show up on camera. They look so pretty and they look just as pretty in real life. I love this project. Also, I still haven't told you what this project is. So I'm making a baby tee very similar to the one I'm currently wearing right now. I love this baby tee so much. I love baby tees in general. And yeah, I wanted to make one that was kind of Christmassy. So obviously, as you can see, these are sort of like Christmas colors, but they're a little bit more earthy toned Christmas colors. So once Christmas passes, it won't be weird if I wear this because it's very earthy looking, but also sort of Christmassy. So I'm really hoping that I can finish this in time for Christmas, but we are nearing the end of November right now, which is why I wanted to film this video because I want to have a reason to just sit down and work on it for an entire day, which will hopefully get me to finish it in time for Christmas. If not, though, it's okay. Okay, it's 11:10, almost 11:11. Let's see if we can see it switch together. Ooh, it is 11:11. Make a wish. Anyway, I have knit 3 rounds now, and I technically started at 9:40. It took me a very long time to film the intro because I just couldn't get it perfect enough. So it took me like half an hour to film the intro to this video. So I started actually knitting at 9:40. And so that means I have been knitting for an hour and 20 minutes. So I think 3 rounds in an hour and 20 minutes using 3mm needles isn't too bad. I think that's actually pretty good. Oh, oopsies. I forgot to switch yarns. And now I'm gonna, after I finish taking out maybe like 10 stitches, I'm gonna switch yarns, colors, yarns. So if we take a closer look here, you can see where I've been changing colors and I'll show you the other side so you can see all my loose ends. Doesn't that look so fun? Eventually, I'm gonna have to weave these in, but I'm gonna put that off until the very end because it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. And I just finished knitting 3 rounds in this light green color. So now I'm gonna switch to this color right here, which is the only stripe that I'm doing in a different texture. So not only is it a different color than the rest, but it's a different texture as well. And I'm gonna show you this yarn because it's really pretty. This is the yarn. This is a boucle alpaca silk blend of yarn. It is such a fun texture. I love it. It is very fun and I love the color of it as well. And I got this yarn while I was visiting Ireland, which makes it a little extra special. So basically what I do to change colors is I just go to start knitting, I insert my needle, and then I just loop the new yarn onto my needle. And I don't know if that's the most efficient way to change colors. I mean, I don't think it is because it kind of leaves me with this very holy section right here, which I'm just gonna close up in the end when I go to weave in all my ends. I'm just gonna kind of close all these little openings that I have here. But all these openings make me think that the way that I'm changing colors is not the most efficient. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. I can't get over how pretty this 3x1 ribbing is. It's so fun, and just the fact that it's so nice to look at makes this project even more fun to work on, because like every time I get to the section where I'm doing the 3x1 ribbing, I just get extra excited. I'm gonna quickly pause to tell you a little bit more about this baby tee. So I mentioned quickly earlier that this is a Raglan. So it's a Raglan baby tee, and this ribbing section here, the ribbing section that I love so much, this is the sleeve and this is the other sleeve. This baby tee is gonna be a little bit different from the one that I'm currently wearing. And the main thing that's different is the sleeve sections. So obviously, as you can see, I have 3x1 ribbing for the sleeve sections, and this baby tee has no ribbing. But the other thing that I'm doing a little bit differently with this baby tee is the Raglan increases. So the way that I did my Raglan increases for this top is I did every other round up until this point here, and then I did every third round from this point on. But for this baby tee, I'm doing my increases the same way as this top for the front and back section, but for the sleeve sections, I'm increasing every other round for the entire sleeve sections. So it's only a small difference, but I'm curious to see how it works up and which one I like better. I just finished the boucle stripe, and this is what it's looking like. Ooh, look at all that texture. That is very fun. And now I'm gonna switch to red yarn, and I'm gonna show you the time so that you can get an idea how long it's taking me to do all of this. So it is currently 1:20. The last time I checked in was 11:11, right? 11:11, make a wish. So this time it took me over 2 hours. That's how long it's taking me, which is kind of crazy. I did not realize it was taking me this long to work up this top. I knew it was taking me a little bit longer, but I'm used to making things with bigger needles, which obviously works up a lot quicker. It's definitely interesting to see the difference between, you know, how quickly a project is worked up with 3mm needles compared to 10mm needles, or even 12mm needles, because I do love a 12mm needle. I will say though that I was knitting a lot slower when knitting with this boucle yarn, because the boucle yarn's a little tricky to work with because it's got a bunch of little loops. So sometimes my needles will get caught in the loops, or it just doesn't glide off my needles as nicely. Anyway, the next color that I'm gonna change to is this red yarn right here. Ooh, look at that sun. I love this shade of red. I've been really liking the color red lately, and my favorite shade of red is when it has like a little bit more of like an orange tone or tint to it. I love it, especially when it's very bold and bright. Like this is literally perfect shade of red. So now that I've changed to a new yarn, I just gotta cut my old yarn, and I don't have any scissors on me, so I just snap the yarn. So the last stripe that I knit, the boucle stripe, took me over 2 hours to complete, which I thought was pretty crazy. And I don't think that's very accurate. I was watching a show, I'm currently watching Stranger Things, and I got really sucked into it. And I feel like I probably paused a little bit here and there while watching the show because I got distracted. So there's that. And then I'm also convinced that I was knitting a lot slower with the boucle yarn because the stitches were a lot tighter and the little loops kept getting stuck on my needles. So with all of that said, I want to find out how long it'll take me to knit a stripe. So I'm gonna time myself a little bit better this time. And I'm gonna show you what time it is now. It is 1:47 and I just started the red stripe. So I'm about this amount of stitches into the first row of the red stripes. So this is how many stitches I've knit so far. And I did check the time when I started the row, and it was like I think it was like 1:38, maybe 1:40. So yeah, while knitting this red stripe, I'm not gonna let myself get as distracted. And we're gonna find out how long it'll actually take me to knit one stripe of this top. I am gonna continue watching Stranger Things though. Okay, I just finished the red stripe. This is what it's looking like. Focus, 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 focus. Anyway, that's not focusing. It is 3:22, 3:23, which means it has taken me an hour and 20 or 25 minutes. Am I doing that right? Around an hour and 20 minutes to finish this red stripe. And I did mess up a little bit at one point, which did set me back a little bit. So yeah. All that to say, an hour and 20 minutes is significantly better than 2 hours and like 15 minutes, I think it was. And now I'm going to switch to my next color, and the next color, so the next stripe I gotta do is this dark teal color, which is definitely not showing up properly on camera because my lighting is not great right now because it has gone darker outside. But this color right here is the next color I'm gonna do, and I don't know where that is. Oh. Okay. Insert. I have now finished the dark teal stripe. This is what it's looking like. And it is now much later. It is 7:51. And the reason for why it's so much later now is because I ended up having to take a 2-hour break from working on this top because I had to do some work for about 2 hours. And now I'm back to knitting this top. And now that I finished the teal stripe, I'm gonna change to the next color, which is the color that I need to change to is not in my bag, so I'm gonna go and get it, and I will be right back. Okay. Oh my god, I'm out of breath from going up one flight of stairs. Also, I'm curious to see how much progress I've made so far today. So this is the stitch marker, and this is where I'm at now. So this is how much I got done today. This is a lot less progress than I thought I would be making today. Before starting, today's video, I thought I would maybe even get to the point where I section off the sleeves and start working up the body of the top. Yeah, I thought I would get a lot more done today, but that's okay. That is okay. I'm gonna continue knitting for a couple more hours before I go to bed, so we'll see how much more I can get done. I have mostly completed the light green stripe. It's not fully done yet, but I'm ready for bed. So I'm gonna stop working on this now because it is just past 10 and yeah, I'm tired. This was fun. Definitely didn't get as much done as I thought I would, but that's okay. I still was very productive today and I'm happy about that. But now I'm starting to doubt that I will even be able to finish this in time for Christmas, considering how long it's probably gonna take me to complete. But this is what it's looking like. We're gonna take one final look before I go to bed. Oh, so pretty. I'm gonna try it on to show you guys what it's looking like, and hopefully I don't drop any stitches in the process. Oh my god. These ends, oh, they're so crazy. That's also gonna suck. Wow, so pretty. I don't really see the point in trying this on actually because since it's still on my needles, it's very bunched up, so it's kind of hard to see what it even you know, where it's even sitting, but soon this will be a pretty little baby tea, and I'm excited for whenever that will be. Anyway, I am gonna go to bed now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I enjoyed making it. It was fun. Let me know what your thoughts are on this baby tea. What do you think of the color combo? I love it, but I would love to hear your thoughts. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this one, kind of like full days of knitting videos. I enjoyed making it, so if you want to see more like it, I would be happy to make more. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Bye!